Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming. I got another game here today. This isn't me playing, this is one of the bracketed tournament games. And as you can see, it's the last two people left in the first round. That's High Elves versus Orcs and Goblins. So after this game is over, there will only be 3 winners. So one of the losers from the first 3 games will be brought back in for a second chance. So that's kind of cool. Once you're out, you never know. You might get back in if someone else has to quit for some reason. We've already had 2 had to drop. And if that happens, then another person gets back in. So you never know if you're out or not. So that's the way it goes. We're on to the first picture. They were already setting up when I got there. So I'm going to have to do the terrain and the deployment at the same time. Starting with terrain, that is a ordinary forest, not mysterious or anything, just a little set of woods there. He's got 50 High Elf Spearmen in that unit with a level 4 wizard and full command. The wizard, I know he has a 4-up ward save, and I don't know what his other item was. The unit on the other side of there with the woods there with the yellow on their heads, that is 30 sword masters with a BSB. The BSB has the banner of the World Dragon and dragon armor, and they have full command in that unit. Next to them is 20 archers. No command, I don't think. I think it's just 20 archers. Alright, next to that he had 4 bolt throwers. Then another 20 archers with a level 2. That level 4 wizard was running the Lore of Life. This one is running High Magic. And next to that is another unit of 20 archers. And that is a mysterious forest there. So High Elf turn 1, we'll discover what that does. On to the Orcs and Goblins side. That is an ordinary fence. Those are 2 boar chariots, 6 wolf riders with bows, 6 more wolf riders with bows. That's 2 units, not 1. That's an ordinary hill. The purple back there is 30 night goblins with 3 fanatics. The BSB is in that unit, and I think he's got the spider banner. I think he does, gives them the poison attacks. They are equipped with bows as well, and he's got a level 2 goblin shaman in there with the dispel scroll. He's got 6 trolls. They look like river trolls, but they're ordinary trolls. Behind them is the rock lobber. The black unit there is 20, I think it's 20 black orcs, full command, and he has his general in there, and I do not know what the general's kit is. Behind them is 2 doom divers. Up front, he's got 2 mangler squigs, and boy, those things are crazy. Then he's got 3 bolt throwers, or I'm sorry, spear chuckas. And then that thing in the back is a goblin hero on a giant cave squig. But we never find out what he had and what he can do, so I don't know what his build was either. And then over on the far left is 30 Savage Orc Biggins with a level 2 caster carrying the Lucky Shrunken Head. So that gives them all a 5-up ward save. They've got big stabbers and extra hand weapons. So that's just a moving blender. And that statue there, that little monument, is the temple. I think it's the Temple of Cain. Whatever it is. If you're within 6 inches of it, you gain frenzy. The level 4 that took the level 4 elf that took Lore of Life. He got Throne of Vines, Flesh to Stone, The Dwellers Below, and Earth Blood. Pretty good mix. The level 2 Orc Shaman got Brain Bursta and Fists of Gork. The level 2 Night Goblin got Gift of the Spider God and Sneaky Stabbin'. And the level 2 High Elf got Soul Quench and Apotheosis. There's an overlook of the setup. They're rolling to see who goes first. Orcs and Goblins won the turn to go first, or won the chance to go first, but this is his vanguard movement before the game starts. So there's the first unit moving up. And there's a picture of the second unit moving up. So both units of Wolf Riders vanguarded up past the hill. There's a look at his left flank. His Savage Orcs moved forward. His Manglers both jumped forward. He forgot to move his hero on the giant cave squig turn 1, so that's one of the reasons we don't know what he has. His Black Orcs moved forward as well. Over here, both chariots moved forward. Pretty much everything moved forward. I was taking pictures because I wasn't sure what he was going to move. I should have taken one after his movement phase. Yeah, there's a look at the trolls. They passed their stupidity test because the general's right beside them, and they moved forward. And the Night Goblins, believe it or not, I didn't get a picture of that. The Night Goblins march moved forward up onto the hill as well. So the Wolf Riders turn 1. He moved one of them up on the far flank over there, getting out of the High Elves' arc of visibility, so they wouldn't be able to shoot him. Yes, those are skinny jeans on the right. And then his other unit of Wolf Riders ran right up in the face of those 20 archers there, and pretty much making them where they don't have much of an option but to shoot right there at them. There's an overlook of the board after Orcs and Goblin turn 1, so it's coming to a head pretty quick. As you can see, everything's moving right up there in the face of the High Elves. Magic phase, he rolled an 11, 6 and a 5, and got Brain Bursta. He tried to cast Brain Bursta, but it was dispelled. Then he cast Gift of the Spider God, just trying to draw out some dispel dice, but it didn't work, and he got the spell off, but the guy just let it go. He didn't try and dispel it, and he failed to do the sneaky stealing also, so that did not work. But they got a poison again anyway, and I think because of that, if they do have that banner that gives them poison, I think it boosts it to a 5-up. So it could have been good. The Goblin Wolf Riders decide to show the High Elves how it's done. So needing 4s to hit normally, they moved this turn, so it bumps it up where they need 5s. And those Elves are in soft cover in those woods, so they need 6s to hit, and they still managed to kill 2 of them. So the Wolf Riders are raising the bar there on the shooting phase. The other unit of Wolf Riders only managed to kill 1. That's more like it. This was a shot of the Stone Thrower. The Stone Thrower decided to try and single out the BSB and put it right on his head. He rolled a direct hit, and the High Elf player, he made the fatal mistake, which I have banned these words from my game. The High Elf player said, "I need anything but a 1" because of his Lookout Sir. There's the 1 that he rolled promptly afterwards, so it's a direct hit. The guy, the Orcs and Goblins wounded him, and it's D6 wounds because he's directly under the hole. And there's the roll of a 6 that the ward saved for the dragon armor. So that guy is he's the extreme in both ways, rolling a 1 for his Lookout Sir and a 6 for his ward save. So yeah, he's calling very close shots here. Oh yeah, that's the 2 Swordmasters dead back there. That's the splash off of the Stone Thrower. So that's not bad having it hit, because I think it was 9 elves hit by it and only 2 of them died. So they squeaked by pretty clean on that one. The first Doom Diver comes in and hits and kills 1 more. Then the second Doom Diver hits and kills 4 more. And that was it for the Orcs and Goblins turn 1. So High Elves turn 1. These elves here move forward just a little bit, changing their arc so that they can see these Wolf Riders beside them. That is a poison thicket they discovered, and I think it killed 3 of them actually before they could finish their movement. So 3 elves dropped to the poison. Now, that was all the movement. This High Elf player was content to sit still and shoot for a little bit. It's funny to me. I'm not impressed with shooting in 8th edition. I used to love it back in 5th and 6th edition, but The elves, what is it, 16, 17 of them left. Fire, and they're only able to do 2 wounds. That's what the goblins did. That's what 6 goblins did shooting at the elves, and that many elves can only do 2 back to them. So they killed 2. You can see the 6 and the 5 there. That's the goblins' panic test. They did not like it at all. And the angle he had them flee directly off the board. So that's it for the Wolf Riders. Those are those dice there are the shots from the High Elves coming into the other unit of Wolf Riders. As you can see, they had a bit more luck. And they killed 3. So that's 3 more Wolf Riders dead, and they failed their panic test as well. Yeah, there's the wolves fleeing, and I also took the picture a little higher like this because to remind me this is the 4 bolt throwers firing at the trolls. Now that's 24 shots. He did 6 shots all the way across. 24 shots going at those 6 trolls, and he did 1 wound. So once again, shooting is not what it used to be. I know trolls are, they're pretty bad. They're toughness 4, so I mean, he only needed 4s to hit and 4s to wound. So on average, that's 12. He should have done 6 wounds on average, and then, of course, 3 of them would have been saved as far as math goes. But yeah, 24 shots and 1 wound. So that's what math does for you. These 20 archers here decide to try and help out the bolt throwers and taking out the trolls. And 20 archers later, there's a second wound on 1 troll. There's a look at the board after High Elf turn 1. His magic phase was shut down. I don't photograph magic phases when nothing happens. I will take pictures when spells get off and things like that, but as far as just taking pictures of everything being dispelled, I just leave it out. So that was High Elf turn 1. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. The trolls pass their stupidity check and charge into the archers. They did a stand and shoot. We forgot to roll it here, but you will see the results a little later. Both Manglers jumped up directly in front of the Swordmasters, pretty much leaving them useless, because if they move forward, that's going to be 6 D6 strength 5 hits, rather than letting the Manglers continue on their way and do 4 D6 strength 5 hits. So they're pretty much just going to stand there. This is after movement. The Orcs and Goblins are really moving forward. As you can see, both chariots moved up. The Night Goblins march moved up again. The Wolf Riders failed to rally. Now they're over there behind the Goblins. The Goblins passed their panic check for having them flee through. The Black Orcs moved up, getting ready to charge since none of the Elves can move. And the Savage Orcs moved up to... it's kind of smart. I didn't see it. I wasn't thinking, of course, because it's not my game. But the Savage Orcs moved up just far enough that the High Elves can charge him, but they will be more than 6 inches away from that monument, so the High Elves won't get frenzy. So it's pretty good thinking on his part. And once again, back there with the War Machines, he forgot to move his hero on the giant cave squig. So we just pretend like he's sitting back there to protect the War Machines. So he's doing his job, I guess. Magic phase, again, nothing happened of note. I think all of the spells were canceled. But the 3 bolt throwers fired, and altogether killed 4 swordmasters. Nothing to write home about. But it did finish off that back rank, though. This is the stone thrower. Landed center mass. He rolled a misfire. And the result was a 4, so the stone thrower is out for 2 turns. The first Doom Diver killed 3 of the Silver Helms. I tell you what, his Doom Divers were on fire tonight. They were just landing perfectly. This is the stand and shoot. You'll remember that the trolls already had 2 wounds on them. So the stand and shoot results in putting 1 more wound on that one and finishing him, putting a wound on the second one. And I think he actually ward saved a couple. They shot, they were dead on with that stand and shoot. So combat comes up. And the archers, we're talking about what, 10 high elf archers, put that's 5 unregened wounds on the trolls, needing threes to hit, rerollable, and fives to wound. High elf archers killed 2 trolls and took away 6 attacks coming back at them. And then to finish the deal, to finish the epic failure of the trolls, that's 9 attacks and 3 stomps killed 2 elves. So, I mean, I looked at the high elf player and I said, hey, I know this is why we roll dice. That should not have happened. Those archers should be dead. Realistically, that should have been, 15 strength 5 attacks and then 3 stomps. But no, they were on fire. It's a good thing they didn't have swords, or they might have killed those 3. But just beating them off with their bows, they were able to kill 3 of them before combat even got in really good. So the trolls did pass their leadership check. The general is right behind them, so they did stick around. But that's some ugly, ugly elf right there. This is a look at the board after Orcs and Goblins turn 2. So now we're going into High Elves turn 2. The 50 spearmen charge into the Savage Orcs and make it. That was the only movement he had. The High Elves cast Flesh to Stone. The level 4 over there cast Flesh to Stone. Got it off with Irresistible Force. And the ensuing miscast was Magical Feedback. So the level 2 took a wound. The level 4 was able to ward save his own. So he got out of it scot-free. This is a look. All of these archers here. This is another pretty comical situation. All of these archers fire at the chariot on the right. And then all 4 bolt throwers fire at the chariot on the right. And all of those shots were able to take it out. That's not bad because boar chariots are strength 5 and have 4 wounds. So, I said strength, they're toughness 5 and have 4 wounds. So, it's not bad. It's good to have one of them gone. Then these 20 archers here decide to try and pick on the other one. And as you see there, they put 2 wounds on it. He's failing his armor saves and everything. It's crazy. I know if you roll enough dice, you're going to roll some 6s and your opponent's going to roll some, low armor saves, but it's just crazy how good these archers are doing. I've played shooting armies in 8th edition and hated it. My opponent, in one of them, I think I even have the bat wrap up, High Elves versus Orcs and Goblins, he spent 30 to 35 shots going after 5 wolf riders, and when it was all said and done, one of them was still standing. So I mean, shooting is not what it used to be. That's a look at the hits from the High Elves in hand-to-hand combat. So 9 of them hit. Another troll drops and 1 takes a wound, so that's 4 wounds done from the High Elves. This time the trolls did a little bit better, and with 6 attacks and 2 stomps, they were able to kill 4 of the elves. And they stuck around again. Yeah, they're losing, but they're sticking around still. Over here, the High Elves come in, and out of 41 attacks, they were able to kill 4 Savage Orcs. I was very surprised at that. I thought with their martial prowess and being able to fight in 4 ranks and all that good stuff, we were going to see some orcs dying, but 4 of them dropped. The Lucky Shrunken Head was working. I mean, everything's going good. And then 10 High Elves take it. I mean, 10 High Elves slaughtered, and that's with Flesh to Stone up. The Savage Orcs are strength 5, turn 1, or round 1 because of the choppas, and the High Elves are toughness 5 because of Flesh to Stone, and 10 of them drop. So that's some ugly stuff, but the High Elves are steadfast because he took so many, so they stuck around. That's an overlook of the board after High Elves turn 2. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. The chariot slams into the archers. Their stand and shoot does a 3rd wound to it. The Black Orcs charge into the archers to help out those trolls because they need it. The dogs did not rally. They're still fleeing. And that was funny too. He needed a 5 to stay. He rolled a 6 and a 5. Then he rolled something like a 5 and a 4. And then when he went to see how far they ran, he rolled a 3 and a 1. So he got the right rolls. He just got them out of sequence. These manglers, they should have been put into the Orcs and Goblins book as Swordmaster manglers. I couldn't believe it. The first one jumps through them, and there you can see he killed 7 when he hit. It's just disgusting. And then the second one bounces through also and kills another 8. And so it leaves one Swordmaster, the banner, and the BSB standing there by themselves. That is a wrecking ball is what that is. That is a threat you cannot ignore. And they're only, 65 points? 60 points, something like that. And to go through and kill 15 Swordmasters on impact, how could you not want to take Manglers? I know they have a ridiculously small chance of blowing up and all that good stuff. And after they hit, they go random. But I mean, come on, 15 Swordmasters killed, and they don't even get to fight back. So that's brutal. The Swordmasters passed their panic test, or I'm sorry, the Swordmaster passed his panic test and stuck around. Over here, the Doom Diver hit the only unengaged archers. The first one killed 4. The second one landed and killed 5. And the archers failed their panic test and ran clean off the board. So once again, his artillery is just on fire tonight. It's just, other than that stone thrower, which tried to snipe the BSB, these artillery are just mopping up. They're just killing things left and right. The goblins didn't march this turn, so they were able to take a shot at the bolt throwers and actually put a wound on one. And over here, the chariot does 4 impact hits, and then the remaining 3 or 4 elves that are in combat with it are able to put the last wound on. He fails his armor save, and they kill the chariot. So, man, I tell you, he should have just quit shooting and marched forward with these guys, because if he could have gotten his archers into hand-to-hand sooner, he probably would have just tabled the Orcs and Goblins. This is ridiculous. Over here, the Black Orcs come in and help. They kill all but 3 of the archers. The archers break, run straight into the Mangler, so the Mangler gives them 3d6 hits, strength 5, and kills them, of course. But he dies as well. So those archers were still, even after, they killed 5 trolls, 4 trolls, but 2 wounds on another one, and all that good stuff. Even when they flee, they still manage to take out a Mangler. So those guys, those are the MVPs of the game, no doubt. He managed not to pursue with either unit, and his trolls turned to face the bolt throwers, and his Black Orcs turned to get the Swordmasters. And I thought he had missed the Swordmasters, and I thought he was going to just turn and go after those bolt throwers. But if that one banner lives, then he would get points for that entire unit. That's a crazy thing about 8th edition. It's hard to get used to. Over here, in the Orcs and Goblins magic phase, he was able to dispel flesh to stone. So this time the elves were able to, do their 4 wounds again. And that is insane to me. 41 attacks plus the wizard, and 4 orcs drop. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And in return, 11 elves get cut down this time. So what started as a 50 against 30 is quickly becoming an even match. So and if you can tell, the last orcs over there aren't even in combat. So this is just from I think 9 of them were touching. So 1 orc isn't even able to fight. So this is really brutal. But it's still, as you can see, the high elves are still steadfast. They got 3 ranks to the Orcs and Goblin 2, so they stuck around again. And there's an overlook of the board. I believe that's the last picture of the game. The the high elf player said he was going to concede. Um, so I, closed everything down and was about to leave, and then he said, "Wait, I want to go one more round," because he wanted to try and cast Dwellers Below, but it didn't work. The Orcs and Goblin player he canceled it, dispelled it. The good news is, as you can see right there by the bolt throwers, he did remember to move his cave squig forward this time with the Goblin Hero. So you can't say he didn't do anything. I asked him to keep me informed afterwards, but the bolt throwers were able to finish off the 2 trolls. The Black Orcs did charge and finish off the Swordmaster and the BSB. And he said that the Savage Orcs and the High Elves went the same way. He said he cleaned off that entire back rank. And they said it was still steadfast, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't think even ranks is steadfast. I think you have to have more. But I'm sure somebody can tell me pretty quickly whether I'm right or not. But so whether the High Elves would have stuck around or not, I don't know. The way they played it, they said they were still steadfast, and so they stayed. But it was a victory for the Orcs and Goblins, which takes us to the bracket. And as you can see, moving on, we have Warriors of Chaos, Orcs and Goblins, Ogre Kingdoms, and we drew names to see who got back in, and the same High Elf player got back in. So we have High Elves again. So coming up soon, I'll be drawing names to see who fights who, and I'll put up another video to let everybody see, what round 2 holds. Hope you enjoyed it. Glad you watched it. This is a very easy-going tournament. It's working very well. People drops out. It doesn't matter. We find somebody to take their place because you have a month to get your games in. So it's really going well and very laid back. Nobody feels like they have to take off work or anything like that because, like I said, you have a month. That's 4 weekends. You can try and squeeze something in. So we're enjoying it, and we'll probably start up another one when this one's over. If everybody's still interested. So going well. Subscribe to the channel, share the videos, help me get the thing going. It's been fun. Comment. I love seeing your comments, and try to reply to every one of them. So hope you enjoyed it. I should have another one up Saturday. Not a tournament game, but I've got a guy coming back in, kind of a teaching game. He'll be playing vampire counts against my ogres, so keep an eye out for it.